2, 3, 4.
Baraka the 90 production.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
There's a balance that we need to have, especially as modern people. We need to understand the intellectual currents of the modern world. And we need to understand the traditional world too. We are the ancestors of the future. And a lot of people are very arrogant about the people of the past. Oh, what fools. Like, they didn't have Wikipedia, they didn't have Google Maps, they didn't have GPS, they didn't have Siri. They didn't have that. What could they really have known? But when you really dive into the great works, philosophical, mystical, legal, spiritual, even mythological, you get the great symbolism of many different traditions, you see that there's a profound depth that the ancestors had. And we ignore that to our own peril. We ignore that wisdom. I just released a book of poetry entitled Empty in the Ocean, which is about this idea of the ocean being a symbol in the world's traditions of the soul, the spirit, the divine, right? It's the subconscious, that vastness. So I just released that book of poetry, just did 5 months on the road touring Europe, North America, Southeast Asia. I'm currently in Indonesia, just finished up. Yeah, so a lot of my art, like the video Love and Light, are these reflections on the ancient and the modern, the East and the West, the intersection of different times and place, space and time. And I think maybe you could say that grows out of my own journeying as somebody who grows up in the West, as far west as you can get, you know, on the west coast of the United States of America, but turns east in search of spirituality and understanding what the purpose of existence is. And then having traveled, having all these influences in my music and my art from different cultures, really exploring the intersection of East and West, of the ancient and the modern, of tradition and the hyper fast-paced modern world, interconnected world that we find ourselves in. And really just living and sitting within those kind of contradictions or seeming contradictions, and how can we reconcile them, and what does it mean to be a modern human being who stands in a line intellectually, culturally, spiritually, you know. Traditional cultures always emphasize this idea of lineage, ancestors. Modern people don't even often understand those words. Like, what does that even mean?